We are live. Welcome to the Nothing But Net podcast here with the 419 Grind family. It's Sandy Brown, owner of the Toledo Threat Women's Professional Basketball Organization, and we are on episode number 3. Can y'all believe that? We're on number 3. I'm so excited today, and you guys hear me say that a lot, but I'm really excited today because we got a really special guest for you guys. She really doesn't need any introduction because you all should know who she is. She is the former WNBA player, Kamisha Harrison. Kamisha, welcome to Nothing But Net.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So excited to have you. I'm actually getting a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, because Kamisha, I mean, if you don't know who she is, you're gonna know by the end of this show, and you're gonna be like, wow, like we have someone amazing right here from the city of Toledo, right here with us here at Nothing But Net. So thank you, Kamisha, again for being here with us. So I'm going to talk a little bit about you because I know you're very humble. One thing you'll know about Kamisha, she's not going to talk about herself, but I'm going to talk about her. For real. So Kamisha, for those of you who do not know, and you should know, like I said, she was the 12th pick in the first round draft of the WNBA 2007 season. She was drafted to the Connecticut Sun in the first round. First round. She's also, a lot of people don't know this, but I am going to say this. She is a Big Five Hall of Famer in Philadelphia. She's also the Toledo City Athletic League. She's in the Toledo City Athletic League Hall of Fame, and also recently in the African American Sports Legend Hall of Fame. So, Kamisha, you're kind of a big deal.
I guess so.
I'm trying to give her those moments to glow a little bit, but she just won't do it. So Kamisha, we're super excited to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself for those of who do not know who you are.
Well, I grew up right here. As you said, in Toledo, went to Bowser High School. I graduated in 2003.
2003? It seemed like that was so long ago because I graduated in 2005.
Yes,
I think the time is just, Lord Jesus.
Yes.
We getting up there.
Definitely getting up there. Then I went to Temple University and played there under the legend, my favorite player, Dawn Staley.
Yes. Shout out to Dawn Staley out there.
And then spent some time playing professional basketball in the WNBA and overseas. And now I'm just excited to live my life.
Live her life. And I'm telling you guys, Kamisha, you're so humble. I love how you just breeze through all of that. But there's so much in between that we're definitely going to dive into tonight. So Kamisha, you mentioned, you started right here in Toledo playing for Bowser High School. Shout out to the Rebels out there, for all you Rebels who are watching this broadcast right now. Tell us a little bit about, your career throughout high school. Who coached you guys when you were playing?
My coach was Karen Lake.
Okay.
Used to play at the University of Toledo.
Okay.
For 4 years. A great coach. And we had a pretty decent team. I thought at that time Toledo had one of the best girls' high school basketball groups, just from all of the high schools. So it was very competitive, and it was extremely fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think that era right there was probably the best.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely have to give you guys that era because just even coming behind you guys, watching you guys play, I was like, man, like these girls are so good. Like, we see the Zaya Cooks now and, the different athletes that we have here in Toledo, but you take a Zaya Cook and add 3 more of her on each team almost throughout the city league and throughout, other teams. So there was some serious competition back in the day. And you played with one of my favorite players also, Jazz Davis.
Yeah, I played with Jazz, who I thought one of the best guards, that I've ever seen, has so much potential. And some other great players like Maddie Mays.
Yes,
I thought she was phenomenal. I really thought that she could play at any level.
Yeah.
And she was so great. Kelly Helvey.
Yes.
Brooke Walker.
Shout out to Brooke Royce out there.
Brooke, the highest jumpers that I've ever seen.
Yes.
So we had so much talent.
Yeah.
And I thought anybody at that time could have actually made it big. But by the grace of God,
you were the one that did.
Me,
I know that's right. By the grace of God, no, for sure. And you mentioned some heavy names right there. I actually had this conversation with someone not too long ago. We were just talking about, the top players women basketball players to come out of Toledo. Obviously, your name was mentioned in that, and the names that you mentioned were also mentioned in that conversation. You know, the Kelly Helvies, Brooke Walkers. You gotta mention Sharice Eulis. You know, obviously Zaya Cook, Natasha Howard, different ones of that nature. But back in that era, women's basketball was like that deal for sure.
Deal. And I was so happy to be a part of that because that taught me how to compete, and that made me better. You know, all of those girls made me better.
Yeah, yeah.
So kudos to them and shout out to all of them for making me. I think we all made each other better.
Yeah, and I think that's just the difference. That's one thing I always preach about. That's the difference in today's game. And I won't speak negatively because today's game, you know, it's great. We have some great athletes right here in the city of Toledo, but it's different. I remember, you know, going to open gyms and even just playing basketball, period. Even if I wasn't at school, no one took losing lightly. Like, we hated to lose. So our open gyms, everything was so intense. It wasn't like joking around and, well, the game's over. Oh, well. It was like, okay, we just lost. I'm mad. Let's run it back. Like, no, ain't nobody coming on. Run it back.
Right.
You know? So, and we're kind of missing that in today's, with our young girls today, which is something, you know, with our Toledo Threat program, we're trying to bring it back, like bring back the grit and the aggressiveness and the will to win. Right. But no, so Kamisha, and you talked about it, you know, playing, you know, with Jazz Davis. To me, you guys were like a really, really great 1-2 punch. I used to love going to watch the Rebels play, and I'm a Spartan, so that's a big statement coming from me, you know.
It's fun.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember my sister, when my sister Vicky, she was a year ahead of me. I think she played against you for one season, and I remember the conversation that she and I had before the game. I hope she don't get mad that I tell her. She don't care. She played volleyball. She don't care. But she was so nervous to play against you. She was like, I'm nervous to guard her. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, so what? Like, yeah, she good. She gonna give you a run for your money, but you know, you got this. But you clearly made a big statement during that game and showed there was a reason she was nervous, and it made sense. So. But no, so going through, you know, you went to Bowser, and talk to us about your senior year, making a decision on where you were going to go to school.
Well, it was actually tough. It wasn't as easy as most people may assume. Going into my senior year, I tore my ACL and my meniscus in my knee. Ooh. And you know, I kept playing throughout the summer, and you know, I could have went to any school that I wanted to. I could have went to UConn, Tennessee.
Nice.
And I played on my leg, and then I tore it, or it came out again while I was
oh my gosh,
playing in the tournament. So, you know, at that moment, I watched so many coaches walk away. And it was Dawn Staley, it was Temple, who said, you know what, you're better on one leg than most people are on two, so we want you.
Wow.
And I couldn't turn that down. You know, that coming from a Hall of Famer, and
legend.
her believing in me,
yes.
and also the assistant coach that was with her. So, you know, they were loyal to me, and so I returned that loyalty. No,
for sure. And I think that's really key, what you just mentioned there. In this episode, and I've encouraged a lot of our younger girls definitely to tune in to this episode specifically because, you know, you might think it's a walk in the park from high school to college, and it's really not. You never know what can happen. Right. And you talked about it, you know, you had some unexpected injuries. And when those injuries come, it don't matter who you getting recruited by, it don't matter how good you are. When those injuries come, they know that you're going to change as a player, or you could possibly change as a player. So that changes things for everything. And I want to make sure our viewers out there know, you know, you just never know what's going to happen. But like you mentioned, by the grace of God, you know, Dawn Staley saw those big things in you, which I don't blame her. I believe you was better on one leg than some girls with two.
Right. And I still, you know, I had to turn down like LSU and Ohio State.
Ooh,
you know, who wouldn't want to go play with Simone Augustus?
Right.
But, you know, I believed in my coach. She believed in me. And I'm so glad that I made that decision.
Yeah. So talk to us about Dawn, because, you know, you get the inside, or you got to get the inside, you know, scoop, experiencing her firsthand as your head coach. I know, you know, Zaya Cook obviously is there with her right now at South Carolina. Talk to us about like her coaching style. I'm curious to know, because I'm a fan.
It was the toughest adjustment that I had to make still to this day in my life.
Wow.
Nothing was more difficult than actually transitioning from Toledo to Philadelphia.
Wow.
That transition in itself, but from being a star until you go to college, and she's like, you know what, you're good, but now we're gonna break you down to build you back up. And so,
what does that mean? Break you down to build you back up.
Basically,
I need details.
You're nothing. Like, you're not the star. You're not the All-American now. Mm-hmm. You are the freshman.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if I had I knew I was better than hope they're not watching, but I knew I was better than
that's okay.
This
is what we want from you. Glow a little. You can do that.
I was better than the girls that were before me, and they were seniors at the time, but she wasn't going to throw you out there. It was a process, and going through that process was hard. I think I quit about 3 times my freshman year.
Wow, really?
I quit during preseason because it was hard for me to do the agility workout.
Wow.
So I walked out. I said, I'm done. I'm going back home. And I quit a couple more times. And, my parents had to come. I'm like, I'm leaving.
Wow.
You're not playing me. I'm going. But they encouraged me to stick it out. And she also encouraged me. She's going to really leave, because it's challenging. And so I did. I stuck it out. And it was always hard. Every year it was harder. It didn't matter how much better I got.
Wow. It don't matter.
It didn't matter. But that made the transition from college to the WNBA easy. Like the combine was so easy to me because I learned that everything they were teaching the whole 4 years at
right. And I think that's one, what you mentioned, you talked about your quit, and that's surprising. I didn't expect to hear that. So you said you quit 3 times or wanted to quit.
No, I actually quit 3 times. I quit 3 times. And she'll laugh at it now. She's call me a little crybaby. I wanted to go home. I was homesick, and I didn't want to deal with it. I'm like, you know what? This is too much work.
Yeah.
But my greatest life teacher was spending time and staying, not quitting.
Yeah.
So it's helped me now.
And I love how you mentioned, and this is big for all you who are watching and listening out there. You weren't the star anymore when you got to college. Everyone coming out of high school, especially if you're being recruited, by these top schools, or even if you're not, everyone was an all-star on their high school team. Everyone was that girl. Everyone was the go-to player. Everyone was the, leading scorer, leading rebounder. And when you surround yourself, when you get to college, you're surrounded by number 1 players from all over their teams. And I love how you said that you had a new identity pretty much. When you got there, you were a freshman. Everything you did before that, it does not matter. You now have a new identity, and you have to learn a new process. So kudos to you for sticking it out.
Yes.
Dawn Staley, I don't know, Kamisha, she ain't made for everybody. Everybody not made to play for her.
I'm sure if anybody is watching and knows Zaya, I'm sure she had her moments when she was like, you know what, this lady is nuts. And I'm coming home. Yeah. I know she did.
Yeah.
Because as talented as she is, and when you watch her play, my coach still held her back, said you still have to learn. You're going to start here defensively, and she did a great job defensively last year.
Oh, yeah, she definitely did. Zaya definitely represents Toledo very well, so shout out to Zaya out there and her family. But no, I love the fact that she takes you through a process. Yeah. I love that, because it's easy for people to come in and, just think that they're going to get all these minutes. And, even if they are better than another player out there, she still pushes them back, which is awesome. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. She's a legend. She's been there. She knows what she's doing. So, and it's clearly working for her. So shout out to Dawn Staley out there. So take us through. So college, what would you say was your breakout season? Was your best year? How did you know? I guess I should say, what was the turning point for you when you realized wow, I could probably make it to the WNBA?
Honestly, I never thought about the WNBA until my senior year, when I was the nation's 4th leading scorer.
Yep. Say that again. I'm sorry, they didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I was the 4th leading scorer in the nation.
Whoa.
And I was playing against the number 1 scorer, my friend Carrie.
Yes.
And they said, you have a chance. I've seen all these scouts. I'm like, hey.
Y'all hear from me?
I'm like, yeah. It's like, hey, they here for you. Okay.
Nice.
So that's when I'm like, okay, maybe I will.
Yeah.
I never thought about it, honestly, until my senior year.
See, this is why I love this show because one, Kamisha is so raw right now. These are real like emotions, and I really believe you were just like, I mean, okay.
Yeah,
Maybe I will. All right, cool. But no, and it was just that easy, I should say, for you as far as, you know, and I know the actual journey to get there was not easy because you mentioned you were dealing with, you know, knee injury. So how did that play a part in college?
Well, when I tore it, I had surgery. I came back from my ACL meniscus tear in 3 months.
Wow.
And it wasn't until my coach, Dawn, came to see me play against Central, and she said, don't play anymore. And she said, you're not bringing that brace to campus either.
Oh, wow.
So she shut me down. If I ever wonder why I didn't play anymore, it's because my coach said
Dawn
no.
said no.
She said no.
She said, sit down.
So I sat down, and but my leg never healed. It never healed because I had a torn hamstring, and I still had the main hamstring torn. So
how were you out there?
It was God. I'm telling you, it was
Lord.
It was His will for me to be there for that period of time.
Yeah,
and that was it. And so it wasn't healed. Every season it got worse.
Oh my goodness.
Where it began to drag, and so it made it harder and harder. And that's why I really didn't think about playing in the WNBA because by my senior year, my leg is really dragging up the court. And so when I had the opportunity, I mean, you don't pass up that opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, and you keep going for as long as your body will allow you
until your
to
body says stop.
Yeah.
Now, so you talked about your senior year, which was 06, 07?
Yes.
So if I'm not mistaken, 06, 07, to me, I feel like that was one of your better seasons. You was playing on a bum leg.
It was like
crazy. You averaged what, 18 points? You averaged 18 that season, about 8 rebounds, maybe 9 rebounds. You was killing that year.
I averaged a double-double. Yep.
What?
Yep, I was.
On a bum leg.
On a bum leg.
Wow. I mean, if y'all don't know good basketball, if y'all don't know legends, if y'all don't know the truth, the real hoopers, I mean, she's clearly right here, living in Sydney, right here with us, talking to us, and nothing but that. But no, so Kamisha, I think that, like I mentioned, that was one of your outbreak seasons. So was it that season specifically that got the ringer for the WNBA? Do you think, or were they looking at you before then?
No, I think it was from my sophomore year on
up. Okay.
Just being able to play next to my teammate Candace. Who is extremely amazing and a Hall of Famer. So them seeing her and then them also seeing me with her, I mean, I thought we were a great duo. But no, I believe they, were watching anyway. But when you come out and have a crazy season like that, I mean, they don't have a choice.
I was about to say they don't have no choice.
Don't have a choice.
And it wasn't even just offense like for you because, in college, you were doing your thing on the defensive end too. You played both ends of the floor. I'm literally like bragging about her because you guys should really know about Kamisha. If you don't know, she was definitely the truth, one of the best players to come out of the city of Toledo, hands down. I'll argue with anybody if they think otherwise. But no, you did it on both sides of the floor. So it wasn't always about shooting threes and getting to the basket. Like what got you to where you were was because you were that all around player.
Yeah, absolutely. I prided myself on being great on the defensive end. Actually, I learned how to play basketball on the defensive end first. So I love defense. I love the thought of, playing the middle field and stealing the ball.
On the zone, full court press.
You'd be surprised how I process. I'm like, this is fun because that's easy baskets to me.
Facts.
And so, I mean, I was a 3-time all-defensive team at Temple, and I loved every minute of the defensive end.
Yeah, no, same. I'm not gonna lie. Just playing in college, I think I ended up averaging. I wasn't no Kamisha Harrison, but at UAD I ended up averaging, I think about like 12 or 14 points my senior year. But most of my points came from defense. I usually play like in the middle of the zones and different things of that nature, and I did. I enjoyed getting those steals and getting the ball. To me, it's more fun that way. Yeah. Anybody can score. But can you stop somebody from scoring and then score? I got more hype off of that for sure. Okay, so we're in college. We're at Temple, senior year. You're having a great season. Your best season. You're the star player on Temple's team at this point. WNBA is calling. What happens next? Because we all want it up.
I get a combine invite. And by this time, I pretty much know where I'm going anyway. I fit into Connecticut's system. And so I pretty much knew that that's where I would be. But I got an invite to the combine, went to the combine, had a blast. I mean, that was the easiest basketball for me. And I was so nervous because I thought, oh, my God, you got all these people. It's going to be so hard. And it was
a breeze.
It was
but
so
you know
fun.
why it was a breeze, right? Because you that girl, Kamisha, you was killing. Nobody could stop you.
It was fun. It was fun. Yeah, and so then you get drafted, and then you go into training camp.
Okay.
Which was fun. I really enjoyed learning from Katie Douglas. I don't know if you... Katie Douglas and Nikisha Sales were my wing girl, all-star girls. So,
nice.
You know, I know I'm going in there to learn and not play too much, play behind them. So I got to back them up, which was pretty cool.
Pause. We got to stop right there. You went into the WNBA knowing that you were not going to play, but you were going to play behind some of the better players, and you were okay with that.
Yeah, because I was killing them in practice. And if they would see this listen to this podcast, they know every chance I got, I was going to cross Keish. I was going to go at her. So, you know, they knew. You know, they knew, which is why they were both traded so that I'll have the opportunity to play. But unfortunately, that was not in God's will. And so I did injure myself completely. But, you know, the opportunity was there and I had fun while it lasted.
No, I love that. And I only put emphasis on that just because, you know, your mindset, your mentality to play the game of basketball has to be there just as well. And it sounds like you learned that obviously from Dawn and being, you know, sat down and, you know, taken through the process to where you were prepared for the WNBA. If you didn't play, you were okay with that because you knew your role and you understood the process and you knew your time would come.
Right.
And I just think that, you know, I keep talking about our young players because it is so, you know, vital for them right now, like crucial. You have to know your role.
You have to know your role.
Period. That's whether high school, whether it's college, whether it's in the WNBA, you have to know your role, accept your role, and play your role. Yeah. That's huge. That's big. That's big of you.
You can't be arrogant. You got to be humble at all times, or they will humble you, or life will humble you. So
facts.
You know,
one or the other.
Choose. You know. Whatever you're gonna do, but to approach anything, you know, with meekness, be humble, and wait your time. If you put in the work, you know, you'll get your opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. All right, Kamisha. So, and you mentioned, and I want to make sure everyone gets like the overall of your story because I think you have such a great story. I know we're missing out on like some, you know, pieces in between. But so after you injured yourself, talk about that. So you permanently injured your knee and you were done for good.
Yep. When I was with Connecticut, I permanently injured my knee. And so then I was cut from that team. But then I signed with Minnesota.
With the Lynx.
Okay. Just hoping that, you know, something would come out of it. And then I played. But when I went overseas, my last one, when I was playing in Spain, and my knee was swollen so bad, and I think we're going to play against Becky Hammond's team. They had so many WNBA players, and I'm like, I can't even compete against them because I was the only one on my team.
Oh, wow. Who has some skill, who could do something.
I'm like, you know what? This is a wrap. So we went home for break, and I went to the doctor, and he said, you can't play anymore. You need a partial knee replacement.
Oh, my gosh.
And, you know, they took out the rest of the ligaments that were torn. They said they're torn anyway. And
goodness. But you played through all of that. Yeah. All of your college career and even your professional career.
I played in pain.
Wow. You the truth, Kamisha. Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking like, man, she the truth. Because I already know like some of our athletes out there now would have been stopped. Like, absolutely not. Like, all right, I'm done. But that's just like the will and the type of attitude that our players were, you know, back, you know, in our day when we were playing. Like it would have to take something like that to sit us down. Even in the open gym. I remember playing on a sprained ankle like, heck, no, she talking junk. Lace up. Let's go.
And I still, you know, every now and then I might put on some shoes and play a little bit. I'm not supposed to. I don't know what's going to happen when I do it. But
you don't know the after effect, but you get out there sometimes. It's hard. No, I feel you. All right, Kamisha. So this next part of our podcast, that one thing that I love is pretty exciting. We call it assist. So what we'll do is I'll dig into this little cup here. We got some just like small little questions on orange and blue cards here, and we'll just get to know a little bit more about you and maybe give your insight on certain things to some of our viewers out there. All right, so I'm pulling the front. You know what? I did this last time. I always should let my guests go first. Go ahead, Kamisha. I'm going to go ahead and mix it back up. Go ahead. You got it.
So kind. You could have one. All right. Let's see. What are some challenges you faced as a player getting to the professional level?
We talked about the injuries. Give us some more. Something else.
I don't know. I really think my injury was probably
the biggest one.
I really getting there wasn't the challenge. It's almost like staying. Once you get there, you gotta stay there.
Y'all hear that? She said getting there wasn't the challenge. I mean, I was that girl. It was easy.
It was easy, but I mean, you do have to keep. Obviously, they wanted me to drive to the basket more. I'll say that.
Okay.
That was a challenge. Because when you're injured, and then you don't want to tell them that you're injured. So when you're injured, I was a mid-range shooter.
Mid-range was
I
crucial.
believe I was the best in the country.
Automatic.
I really was. But I didn't drive to the basket as much as they would have liked me to. But I really couldn't. So my challenge was, trying to mix it up and show, that I can actually do this.
You can get to the hoop and you can do it all, but it was challenging. So when you went up, every time you went up, were you thinking like, oh my gosh, when I come down, what's gonna happen? Or wow, pressure.
Yeah, it was pressure.
But you handled it well for sure.
Yes.
You played that long. You definitely handled the pressure. Okay, Kamisha, what advice would you give young players who are transitioning from high school to college and from college to pro? So talk to our high schoolers and our college girls out there.
High school to college, I mean, like I said, you have to be willing to start over. What got you through in high school will not get you through in college.
Wow. Say that again, Kamisha.
What got you through in high school will not get you through in college. So your work ethic in high school has to increase tremendously in order for you to actually get playing time and to, be successful in college. So you have to be willing to put in that work and remain consistent. Even in the bad times, don't give up like I almost did. But I didn't have anybody telling me not to give up,
Or to transfer.
And that was at the time you seen a lot of Toledo kids quitting because it was hard. So, don't give up when you're faced with adversity. And then if you're transferring from college to the pros, it's the same thing. What got you through in college will not get you through in the pros because everybody is just as good or even better. And so you have to go in there humble and willing to learn, but willing to compete because they will embarrass you. So, everybody is playing for a spot.
Yeah, facts.
And in women's sports, nothing is permanent. So if you play this season, tomorrow or next season, you can be cut and not have a team.
Crazy.
And that's just the nature of the beast with women's basketball, unfortunately. So you got to be able to compete every day.
Yeah, every day. And I love how, and I'm going to keep saying this because I just think it's really crucial. Like each level is a learning experience. You can never go into something, whether it's basketball, life, work, whatever, you never go into something thinking you know it all or thinking you can do it all or thinking you're the best. It's good to have that mentality as far as getting on the court and being confident in yourself and who you are, but you can't go out there cocky. It's completely different. Because as you heard Kamisha say, they will humble you, period. So make sure you're going in with the right mindset. And willing to learn, be coachable.
Yeah, study the game. I mean, if you go to school, if you have a test, don't you have to study? The same thing with basketball. I mean, watch film of yourself, watch film of, somebody else, but you should always be getting better.
Yeah.
In some aspect of the game.
Yeah, and that's something I preach all the time. Like, how can you be the best if you've never studied the best or you've never studied the better players? Like, there's so many young girls out there who don't even know who Lisa Leslie is, who don't even know who Rebecca Lobo is. Like, that's sad. These are, like, I was a fan of the WNBA in general, just growing up. Even, I mean, it was just getting started as well, and I was still a fan. So you definitely have to study the game. Shoot, y'all better know who Kamisha Harrison is. That's all I'm going to say.
You don't know who Cynthia Cooper,
Cheryl Swoops.
I had the privilege to play against her my rookie year.
Yes.
It was just like amazing. If you don't know who those legends are, start studying.
Listen, one of my favorite athletes growing up, Swing Cash, hands down.
Yes.
I literally studied her game to the T, and I love everything about her. And if you really know who Swing Cash is, and if you really know my game out there, you'll see that it's kind of similar, not gonna lie. And I love everything about her and her game, the mid-range, just her tenacity on the defensive end. Like, she is me, like I am her, but with my own little twist, you know, and that's what you do. You study the great players. Deanna Nolan. I mean, I'm throwing names out there that people probably don't even know who they are.
Man, she's a beast.
She was a beast. You played against her?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Like, she is fast.
So fast, quick with the handle. Like, she drive, like, go literally flying by you.
Yeah.
You look away for 1 second. So, no, for sure. Let's dive into another question. Actually, who was your favorite player? Now that I think about it, that's not a part of this question.
WNBA?
But yeah. Like, what player did you watch growing up, Kamisha?
Coop.
Yes.
Cynthia Cooper. Cheryl Swoops. Love them. I was a Houston Comets fan anyway.
Yeah. Did you ever get to meet them at all?
Cheryl Swoops, yes. Coop? No, she was coaching. She did not come around. But a lot of them are on coaching staff.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Nice. Okay. It's your turn. I do this all the time. I get so excited.
Oh, you can keep reading them.
Go ahead. You go in. You dive in, Kamisha. Go ahead. It's your turn. I get too excited when I be back here.
Oh. Discuss the importance of marketing your brand.
Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, that's not a question for you, Kamisha. I don't think that's your question. Hold on.
But you do got to market yourself.
I mean, you do got to market yourself, like, facts. How'd that even get in there?
What advice have you received from a coach that sticks with you today? From a coach who was like my second father in college, Irvin Monier. He always say, never get too high, never get too low, stay even keel. And you will hear a lot of players say that. And he was pretty much there with me through all the bad. And so he will always preach that to me. I mean, just stay right there in the middle. When things are going good, don't, get up here and, how people get arrogant, big head. And when they're low, don't beat yourself down. Just always be consistent, right? Stay consistent right there in the middle. That's the best advice, and I still use that today. Nice.
And there's so many. When it comes to, just like we talked about, the transitioning with high school and then with college, things get tough. Yeah. It's not easy. And people, and our young girls out there, our young athletes, I'm not just talking to the girls, but you have to understand that, like, it's going to be times, like Kamisha even said it, you're going to want to quit, but you have to have that middle, that middle ground. Like, it's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, but you have to finish.
You have to finish.
Yes.
If you start it, finish it. Don't quit. Whatever you start, finish it.
All right. Let's see. This is the last one in here. What do you think it takes to be a professional athlete? Well, for Kamisha, it was kind of easy. Just kidding.
Like
from what you experienced, from what you saw, your experience of playing professional basketball, what do you think it takes to be a professional athlete?
Besides being good enough, you have to be good enough, and you have to accept the fact if you're not. But professionalism, you have to be a professional. Obviously, it's a professional athlete, and so it's no different than you going to some job, because basketball is a job. They're paying you, so there's a level of professionalism that you have to display in order to stay there. Self-discipline, because you are in control of you. In college, they tell you what to do. In the pros, they don't tell you anything. They give you a time to show up, and if you're not there, then there's consequences. So you have to be professional, and a lot of self-discipline.
Nice. And I think, and I don't want people to take it lightly, be a professional on and off the court, whether it's a soccer field, whatever you're doing, like on and off. You are a representation of your brand. You're your own brand. You represent yourself. So whatever you want, people to view you as, or whatever you want to be respected as. Like, you have to be that wherever you go. You could be out at a club, you could be out, at a party, you could be out with friends at the mall. It doesn't matter. Like, act accordingly.
Right. And because you're on the clock, especially when you're there, you're with a team. Obviously, you're by yourself or whoever you're with, but you're still on the clock, and they're paying you for the time during that season. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing, they're expecting you to, like you said, act accordingly.
Yeah, and even social media. Let's talk about it out there for all you young girls and young athletes on the social media. That's big nowadays. It's huge, and a lot of our younger people don't realize those coaches are watching your social media also. They're literally watching everything you do.
Watch everything you do.
And it goes back to being a professional. If you want to play college basketball, then in my opinion, your social media should reflect that.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, I don't even play anymore, and I still, you never really see me post or do anything. I almost forget.
Yeah.
Because you have to be responsible when it comes to that. And like Sandy said, they are watching you. I know in college, our Dawn, she takes the phones. She takes them still to this day, but she controls all of that stuff. So you can't put no. They will control all of that, and you can't just put whatever you want to on there. You still have to be professional, even in high school.
Yeah.
If you want to get to the next level.
Yeah, for sure. If you're looking to go somewhere, you got to clean it up and keep it clean from all aspects, from outside to social media to whatever, you name it. So I think that's definitely great advice out there for our viewers, Miss Kamisha Hairston. So now, we didn't talk about this, but I kind of want to move back just a little bit, back to the WNBA. So I remember we had a conversation before, and you were kind of telling me just kind of like some ins and outs of things that I just never even knew about. And I think it's okay for you to talk about it. The actual experience once you got to the WNBA as a player, like outside of basketball, when it comes to like where you live and how all of that works. Dive into that for us a little bit.
When you actually are, signed on a team, they give you the team housing, or, some have families. So you would get a stipend. They give you a vehicle, and unless you have your own car, or they don't give you a stipend for your vehicle.
Right.
Because they have one. They're like, I'm giving you a vehicle. But some that need special accommodations, whatever, you can get a stipend to live wherever you want to live.
Yeah. I want to dive into that just because, one, I'm a fan of The Game. Have you ever seen The Game? The sitcom. Yeah, it's on Netflix or Hulu now. I've been binge watching it. I love The Game. But no, it kind of gives you just that realistic aspect of just how things really are, and the fact that you've actually lived it. I'm kind of like, wow, that's kind of cool, because you have gone the distance that a lot of us, playing behind you or just playing with you, a lot of us wanted to go to the WNBA. Some of us did not. Most of us did not. We wanted to go to the WNBA, and we wanted to experience those things. You watch the movie like Love and Basketball, and you see Monica on there doing her thing, and you want to be like her and play overseas and then play in the WNBA. We were all that those girls, and the fact that you got to actually live that. I look up to you, period. And I tell you this all the time. I literally look up to Kamisha because you were one that I was like, wow, like she made it. Like I can do it too. Like I can for sure do it. If somebody from Toledo can get there, like there's hope for me. Yeah. And I love that you've got to experience things that, a lot of us have not. And I just think it's cool, once you get to the WNBA, you really do. There's housing specifically for the rookies. And you go in just like on The Game, and, everything else, you go in and, you can live in those houses, or, you have a stipend. If you want to live somewhere else, you always have that stipend, but you pay the difference. And it's real. Like, that's really how it works. I think that's so cool. But no, so let me see. Where are we at with time? We had about 10 minutes. 10 minutes with time. I think we got a time for some questions from our audience. And someone told me this before that I don't tune into the live enough.
Oh.
I don't tune into the Facebook Live and the comments. But so on top of tuning into the Facebook Live and the comments, if you guys have any questions that you might want to have or ask Kamisha, we have a freaking former WNBA basketball player in the studio with nothing but net. If you have any questions that you will want to ask her, feel free, call into the 419 Grind podcast. The number is there. I can't see I don't have glasses on. Oh, it's 419-540-3566. That's 419-540-3566. Call into the studio and we'll take some questions from our viewers and the audience out there. Again, that's 419-540-3566. And if I'm not mistaken, I see a couple questions. There we go. What was it like playing with Jazz Davis?
It was fun.
She talked about it a little bit.
It was fun. Jazz was an incredible scorer. And I thought one of the best guards that I've seen. I mean, she could score at will. So we had a blast playing together. We always had a hype, loud, live
oh my
crowd.
God.
You know, a house full. So it was fun those 3 years.
Yeah, and let me tell you. So one, since we're talking about Jazz, I just remember her being a beast. Mm-hmm. Like she controlled the way she handled the ball. It was just. We waited for her to see whatever she was going to do next. She was breaking ankles. She was making girls fall out there. She's shooting from half court, from in front of the half court, you name it. She throwing dimes to Kamisha dishing and driving to the back. It was just like, it was like we were watching professional basketball in high school. And I remember you mentioned like playing at Bowser. Man, it was so tough always during you guys' era. I remember when I would go and watch my sister play. It was so, I can't imagine how hard it was to play there. Y'all fans were the truth.
They were the truth.
And it was
our
loud.
Students showed up. And it wasn't just, I mean, we had the boys, we had the football players. I mean,
everybody.
They all showed up.
And they was loud. Like shooting free throws. If you're the opposite team, absolutely not. Like
they showed up with signs. I really appreciate that environment. I do.
Yeah. See, but some people so I'll say definitely you know, and I've seen that Zaya Cook can shine under that type of, pressure and, audience. Some people can't play under that. Some people get nervous.
Right. It's pressure, but to me, that's fun. I mean, that's when you show up. If you can play and you, the truth, that's when you show
Kamisha,
up.
did you just admit that you was the truth?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, but she really is the truth, y'all, for sure. All right, so I don't hear anyone calling in out there, but I'll tell them again, 419-540-3566. We'll be on for a few more minutes. If you have any questions for Kamisha, feel free, give us a call. We'll talk to you right here on live in the studio. But other than that, Kamisha, I think it's time for the play review. You know what the play review is, Kamisha? This part is fun. So the last 5 minutes of the show, what we'll do is we usually ask, just some fun questions for our viewers out there to just get a different aspect of you and, just to learn a little bit more about you. Okay. So the first question, and this is actually something I want to know. So game day, right? Game day, you're going into the locker room, you're listening to your headphones. What are you listening to before a game?
T.I. or Jay-Z.
T.I. or Jay-Z? What?
Yeah, that's what I used to, yeah.
Seriously?
You had to get me hype. I need something that's going to get me hype. Otherwise, I'm tired. I'm like...
I love it. What? Give me a song.
Oh, man.
Because this back in the day, this is T.I. This right when Tip was kind of new and coming out.
We had that Bring It Out. That album, I don't remember.
Bring it out. Oh, that was a classic. Yeah. I think all teams ran out to that song too. That was the go-to run out song. It just made sense. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Kamisha, I feel that. T.I., Jay-Z. All right. Okay. Okay. If you could go right now, any place in the world, where would you go?
I would go back to Israel.
Really?
Yes, I loved it.
So you hold on. I don't think I knew that. You played in Israel. Yep. So why Israel? Tell me about it. You say you love it.
It was just so calming, and I don't know, I really, really enjoyed it. It almost felt like living in California.
Really?
Yeah. There was so many Americans there. So
are you serious? In Israel?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, yeah, American restaurants, owned by Americans. It was amazing.
Wow, I never would have thought that. I've never been to Israel at all. Just to know that a lot of Americans are over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's what's up. All right. So another question for you, Kamisha, because a lot of people don't know this. So I'm just going to put it out there. Kamisha could sing. Kamisha could sing, y'all. And if you didn't know, I mean, maybe we'll get a little bit on the show.
Never.
I
only sing for church. That's it.
Okay. So you sing on the praise and worship team.
Yes.
What church do you attend?
Faith Community, United Holy Church.
Okay.
Vernon, Arlington, right there in the corner.
All right, a little plug right there. If you're looking for some place to worship,
Pastor Hairston.
there you go. And your dad is the pastor.
My dad is a pastor.
Nice. So you a PK?
I am.
You are a PK. I'm a PK too. We talked about this before.
I don't know if it's fair to say that now at my age.
Why?
Because I didn't grow up with him being a.
Well, okay.
He was always a minister, but not.
Okay, I got you. That's fair. Yeah, I was definitely a PK all my life.
Yeah.
For the majority part of it. I'd say when I turned 8, I think my mom became a pastor.
Oh, wow, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so pretty much most of my life, all I know is the church. Hallelujah.
Same with me.
No, so you talked about, we know that you sing on the praise and worship team. Mm-hmm. Tell us about, I know you have some family members who are, one of your family members is a police officer or firefighter?
My brother is a firefighter.
Nice.
My sister is a sheriff with the jail.
Okay.
With the jail.
Nice.
So we're all in the human services field.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about that next. So tell us about like what you're doing now and some things you're doing in our community, because I know you do some really good stuff.
Right now, I am with Toledo Public Schools as a service worker for the families in early childhood education. I am a newly graduate.
Yay! I was waiting for it. I was going to say it if you didn't.
With my master's in counseling.
Nice.
So be on the lookout for that.
Congratulations. And as of what, yesterday?
As of right now.
In this moment.
Yes.
She is no longer. She has her master's in counseling. Congratulations.
So I definitely will be digging more into my own stuff with counseling. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. And then we have
unknown caller.
Oh, we got a caller. Someone is calling in. Hey, this is Sandy with Nothing But Net, and we're here with Kamisha. Who do we have on the phone? They got nervous, and they literally hung up. So this is live, guys. If you call, we're really going to talk to you, or you can really talk to Kamisha. They probably got nervous, like, oh, wait, I'm talking to her live. It's okay. Hopefully they call back. But if not, it's okay. But no, I almost forgot what we were talking about. Kamisha, what were we talking about?
Counseling.
Counseling. That's right. Your master's. And they're calling back. Hey, it's Sandy Brown with Nothing But Net, and we're here with Kamisha Hairston. Who do I have on the call? Hello, are you out there? Speak it to the mic.
This question.
Oh, hold on 1 second. I think we got you. Who do we have calling in?
Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that there's questions in the comments. You guys are missing out.
Oh. Well, who are you? So I can tell you thank
I'm
you.
her sister. Her biggest fan.
It's your sister. Hey, girl. Hold on.
Hey, girl.
Apparently, we're missing some questions in the comments.
Yeah, there's a bunch of comments in the
Oh, Lord,
comment
you're
section.
right. And this is what I told you guys. Thank you so much for letting us know. Steph Johnson told us she's making it plain that Kamisha is the best player ever that she played against.
Thank you, Steph. Love you, Steph.
Yeah, Steph. Shout out to Steph. I'm
you,
just here
Steph.
breezing by. Shout out to Stephanie Johnson. She in the ATL represent Toledo. Let's see. Oh, we missed a lot of questions. Zahara, I think Aprili. She said, for our young athletes, what was your preparation for game day?
Game day. We had got up, I ate breakfast, always had shoot around. Then we had pregame about 3 hours before, about 5 hours before the game. Went back and kind of just got my mind right. Cut off, everything. Just kind of meditated before the game, then played my music to get me in the mood, stay focused. No horseplay. I did not play around before the game at all. It was serious. and so that really helped keep me focused.
Okay. All right, Kamisha, you know what? I feel bad because we missed a lot of questions. So Bud Davis, shout out to Bud out there. He asks, are you interested in coaching high school basketball? Kamisha, are you interested in coaching high school basketball?
If the opportunity presents itself, yeah, I would.
I think we definitely need you on somebody's sideline coaching these girls. You need your own program. Period.
Yes, they do. They need me.
TPS or whoever, if you out there. If y'all don't have Kamisha on the sideline, something wrong with y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. We need her out here coaching our young girls. And don't think the Toledo Threat don't got nothing to do with her, because we definitely plug in Kamisha whenever we can. Robert Oliver, he wants to know what's next, and have you thought about how you impact the next generation of hoopers?
That's a good question. I kind of took a break from just a lot of basketball in general. The transition was a little difficult for me. Just trying to accept that I'm not, playing. But yes, I think about it all the time. How can I help? Even if it's not coaching, how can I mentor to kind of put them on the right track? Because I really do think that's what's missing. Yes. That type of experience with our girls. A lot of people want to help, but they don't have the right qualifications. But I'm here in the city.
That was deep, Kamisha.
I'm here in the city, and I've made it known.
She might need to say that again. You might need to say that again. A lot of people help, and it's good, but you're right. Like, it takes a certain type of, individual. You have to have those right qualifications. And shout out to the people who are out there helping our young girls, and it's not a knock to anybody, but it's like, who could be the better teacher than someone who's already been through it, who's been where these girls are trying to go. So, for sure. Somebody was repping Bowser for you in the comments. Who's your biggest fan? Takoa Deandra wants to know, who is your biggest fan?
You are, big sister.
I love your sister. I just realized that was her when I looked at the picture. Oh, that's her sister.
You are. She's my biggest fan. Just tell me I can do anything. And she really believes it.
No, that's what's up. And she's doing some big things too. I know during COVID she was handing out some food, or if I'm not mistaken, I did see her on the news.
To the hospital, yeah.
Yes. Shout out to her.
Certification, 2 hands.
That's right.
1 heart.
Let's see. What is it about Dawn that makes her so good?
Well,
this is a question from Stephanie.
Her experience. It's not often that you get someone who played at the highest level and is a Hall of Famer that is teaching you. So that experience that she brings, it makes her elite, and it just really separates her. And if you hear her talk, she even said her mindset is so different than how Gino might process it. And in her mind, she believes that her way is the right way, and she has stuck with the same system. And that's what got her championship. And I think she would have had a championship this year had she had COVID not come in. So she's consistent, and she believes in what she's teaching.
And it just goes to show, exactly what you even talked about prior to. She trusts the process. She feels like she has a good product and, a good plan. And she has stuck to her plan all these years. And now her plan is coming full circle. Period, and even in some, she started at Temple and things were going well there. And they're going even better for her now with the same plan.
Same plan. She's getting better players, which is great for her. It was hard to get the, players that she needed at Temple. She can get a couple of them, but now she's getting the players that she needs to enhance that system that she has. And so it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? You're so lucky. I swear. I would love to be coached by Dawn Staley. She's the best. She's one of the best, if not the best. I'm gonna throw it out there. So shout out to, again, Dawn Staley. Thank you, everyone. That's all the time we have as far as for questions. Sorry, I did not even look at. I get so excited when I'm with Kamisha. I just be so tuned in to what she be saying. I don't even care about nothing else. No. But thank you to everyone. That's all the time we have today. Thank you for tuning in to Nothing But Net. Just one big announcement that I do want to make sure we share this evening. The Toledo Threat women's professional basketball team, we are hosting a girls basketball camp this Sunday from 1 to 5 p.m. The registration deadline is Friday, so day after tomorrow. We've had a lot of girls register. We still have a little bit of cushion for a few more, so if you haven't registered yet, go to ToledoThreat.com and click right there on the link right at the top of the website and go ahead and register. And yes, girls 7th through 12th grade. 7th through the 12th grade, so middle school through high school, and it's free. The camp is free. Like, it's free. Sign up. Like, what's holding you guys back? Like, for sure. So no, I just want to make sure we put that out there. So go to ToledoThreat.com and sign up for our Toledo Threat Girls Basketball Camp. We have some of the top coaches, some of our top players, some of our professional players will be in the building. They're driving to Toledo to come and work with our young girls right here in the city. So ToledoThreat.com, it's a free camp. Register, and we will see you guys on Sunday from 1 to 5 at Lourdes University. So that's all the time we have. Kamisha, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You're the best.
Aw.
Just love you. Just love you, Kamisha. You're the best. And thank you. Much love to the 419 Grind family. Shout out to Nothing But Net. And tune in next Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another special guest. And until then, nothing but net.